When it comes to supporting our children during this pandemic, it's imperative to just pay attention, right? You want to make sure that you are listening to what they're saying, the questions that they're asking, engage in conversation with them as they bring things up. Limit their exposure to the news the same way that I would recommend for adults to have shut off time, and make sure that you're not oversaturating yourself with information, with news all of the time. That can be taxing on you. It definitely can be taxing on the kids. And so you have to be mindful that though they aren't adults, they're still impacted. And the way that they communicate, it looks a little different than the way that you would communicate to someone else. Like, you're most likely able to identify if you're stressed. You're most likely able to identify when you're sad and you don't feel the way that you normally feel. You can communicate that. Kids are communicating too. It's just about paying attention to the ways that they communicate. Sometimes it may be in acting out, which was mentioned. So acting out, not listening, being more irritable, maybe getting into fights with their siblings more than usual, because that's normal behavior, to have disagreements with your brothers or your sisters. That's definitely normal. And so, but more than usual, right? And so you're looking for a difference in frequency. And so if it becomes more frequent, that's something to pay attention to. How are they sleeping at night? Are they waking up in the middle of the night? Are they wanting to come and get into your bed with you? Are there any other regressive behaviors? Has bedwetting started again? And those are some things to look for. So some of the behaviors that didn't exist pre-COVID, pre-March, right, have manifested themselves. And so to be able to talk to them, and see where their minds are, where their thoughts are regarding, being in a pandemic, being isolated from friends, not being able to attend school, not being able to go to the local jump park, not being able, to just connect and do some of the things that they have been so accustomed to doing. It's a conversation worth having. So talk to them. Let them know that you're available. If they're not ready to talk, let them know that mommy or daddy, big sister, big brother, I'm here for you when you're ready to talk. And to be able to say, yeah, this has bothered me too. It's not the same, but we're in this thing together. And so leaving that door open for communication is important. But paying attention to, again, the behavioral changes, the changes in sleep patterns. Has there been a loss of appetite? Have they eaten more? Most likely yes, because they're in the house more. So I think everyone's grocery bill has went up tremendously, because we're all in the house way more than we have been, before. But again, we're looking for things that are not normal the way that they have been, the way that we've known normal to be, right? And there are impairments in some way, shape, or form, okay? And because their experiences are different now. They had a period of time where they were doing these virtual classroom learning sessions, and it's hard to engage with the screen. And so with the older kids, you may find that they're more isolated. They may stay in their rooms, or devote all their time to screen time, and they may not want to interact with the family. And so it's good to engage them as well, to make sure that you're checking in, seeing what's going on with them, seeing, what's bothering them, what their thoughts are regarding all of this. I know that there was, a sense of loss and grief for the class of 2020. I had a couple of graduating seniors, to go from a whole year or a whole entire semester of preparing for prom, preparing for graduation, and going off to college to, that looking very different. Like having some proms, canceled altogether, or some alternatives made. Having graduations postponed or canceled altogether, or only virtual or drive-bys. It's been different from what they anticipated it to be. And so there's a sense of, or there has been a sense of loss there, because it's a loss of a hope. It's a loss of something that you planned for. It's a loss of something that you look forward to. And so their thoughts matter. Everyone's thoughts matter. And so, again, they may not be as vocal or as upfront in their communication, but they're always saying something. So keep your eyes open. You know your people, you know who they are, you've observed them for years, and you also notice when there's something different. So if you notice something, it's okay to initiate that conversation. And if there isn't anything to share or that they feel comfortable with sharing at the time, you just leave that door open. And then you can also start by communicating, your perspective as well, but definitely limiting the exposure to news. Okay? They don't need to sit there watching the news, all day throughout the day, having it on in the background, because we're constantly absorbing. We're constantly absorbing. And so you want to be mindful of what you're taking in, what they're taking in as well. Okay? Because they're sponges soaking it all up. So be mindful of making sure that the things that they're soaking up are affirming things, positive things. You need to have the conversations, and you also need to make sure that they are affirmed, that they know that they're supportive, that they're protected, that they're loved, that they are cared for, And so to be able to reinforce those things are as important, if not the most important thing during this particular time. So I hope that you found that this information shared is beneficial. Until next time, take care.